Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am your host, Daniel Prue, and joining me, as always, are my two 3D modeled buddies, Darren and Philip. How are you guys doing this week? How's your Star Trek week going?
Pretty good. It's Strange New World's been rocking. I was not intending that to be a joke, but
literally,
it just became one. But yeah, it's been a fun season. You know, I think the vibe of Strange New Worlds I haven't felt since like TNG, like that kind of fun, but really good stories, like a lot of pure Star Trek as far as like the moral quandaries and, you know, all this stuff. But it's all modern, but it's a very interesting take of a show. I still would say Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds are my two favorite right now.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Philip? Any new, old? Well, I know we were just talking off show about the musical episode, but anything else going on?
Right, yeah. Well, I've been watching, or finished, Season 3 of Enterprise. So I finished another Enterprise season under the belt. One more to go, obviously. Which, you know, it was good. It's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's not terrible. I think the more I watch that season, especially when you binge it, like, I mean, I was just an episode a day. I wasn't watching, like, binging. But, like, when you're watching it a little faster than when it aired, I think it flows much better than, like, original week into week. You're like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I liked it, but I really do. I'm sure there's a behind the scenes. I'd love to get the oral history of the decision for the last 5 seconds or last 30 seconds of, because as you remember, boom, save the day, Archer, you know, seems to have blown up on the weapon and saving the day, and Enterprise comes home to Earth. Oh, okay. God, we're hailing, no one's answering. And then they go down to Earth in the shuttle pod, and suddenly, like, the World War II planes start. I'm like, what the? I mean, and then, like, Archer's in the hospital, and you get alien Nazi, and you're like, no, we just finished no. Like, I don't know. I'd love to know the reasoning, because you just finished this exhausting, and I mean that in a good way, exhausting war season. Because, I mean, like, there's ups and downs, and morals, ups and downs, and all these things, and people get blown up. It's like, we needed a rest. Just a rest. I mean, and maybe there's still a way to do kind of like a cliffhanger, but, like, no. I mean, like, you could get, like, where Archer's maybe missing, and that's resolved in season 4. But just, like, no, not a new adventure right away. No. Stop it. We're home. Let us rest.
Especially not something we had seen before, you know. And another crossover with the alien Nazis. So you know what? It just jogged my memory, though, that I don't think we talked about this specifically about the crossover episode, but they were inspired by Archer and his Enterprise in that episode. So I was just wondering, like, I remember they're like, the NX, every little ship apparently has, I guess, built by part of whatever the old ship was. And I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing, but okay, that's fun.
I like that little bit of, you know, warp history, whatever. But, you know, because we do know that, like, the Enterprise E had pieces of the Enterprise D in it. So it kind of just makes sense. Although, I guess Enterprise D didn't get the same treatment because there were no pieces left of the Enterprise C. So a little bit of gap in the chain of history.
I mean, because that is a real thing. Like, that's a real thing in the Navy, or at least in the U.S. Navy. Because, like, the new Enterprise that they're building in Newport News has a keel or steel or whatever metal from the Enterprise, the nuclear power. Well, they're both nuclear powered, but the first nuclear powered Enterprise, CVN, whatever. So that's a Navy thing. But yeah, that was. Yeah, and then the second, I did like the nice touch of sort of fixing the way we talk about it, because, like, boom, there was like, it's the first Enterprise. Well, I mean, the second Enterprise, or I liked how he's like, oh, it's the original. Well, it's the second Enterprise. Yeah. So, because I mean, like, prior to like 1990, 2000, we would always say the first Enterprise, and now it's like, we gotta change how you talk about it.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. But that's not the only stuff that's. Oh, actually, before we start into the topic, I don't remember the episode we just finished. Oh yeah, it was the Sloan episode. It was the first episode with Section 31 on Deep Space Nine, and we're just about to hit play on, in the Pale Moonlight. So very excited about that. Right in the thick of it. So, but that's not what we're talking about. And we talked a couple weeks ago about the perilous, if I could call it that, state that Star Trek Prodigy was in. It was in kind of a limbo. It wasn't available. We couldn't get to it anymore. And then, fortunately, they were able to just sort of release it digitally. And I think on physical disc as well. I think you can buy it.
In the coming weeks, yes.
But the whole series is now available. So I went snagged that up in case it disappeared into the ether. But not only that, just to sort of probably calm the fears that we and fans were having, Paramount has released a little bit of a preview for season 2, which is clearly in a mostly or semi-completed state at this point, since we get to watch a whole clip from the first episode. So I wanted to talk about those two things. So we'll just do a little bit of a retrospective on season 1, and then we'll move into season 2, because there's a lot to talk about there.
So I don't want to be pedantic.
Where do we want to start? Go ahead.
But did Star Trek, by like StarTrek.com, release it, or did Paramount release it? You know what I'm trying to say?
On StarTrek.com.
Yeah, because Paramount Plus did not, hey, here's a teaser about season 2 of Prodigy. So, I mean, I know I'm being pedantic, but I do want to make, Paramount did not release it.
Yeah, all it says is our team is hard at work at season 2, and we can't wait for everybody to see it. Doesn't give any sort of this is where it will be available, or this is how you can get it, or this is when it comes out. We don't know any of that sort of information. We just know that it does exist in some form, and presumably they definitely still want to get it out, because that's still a lot of work that would have to go.
I wonder if it's
to not.
I mean, I'm not trying to be cynical.
I mean, it sounds like it's basically done. There's no real reason to not drop it.
Right. But it's interesting because it took so long for season 1 to finally completely get out. I wonder, they made that decision, a few weeks ago to pull it. And I'm wondering, is that why they were dragging their feet on releasing the entire thing for so long? Is that why we got it in such small chunks? I'm not really sure why that happened, but it took so long to get the whole thing out.
Yeah, I almost wonder if this teaser, and I don't mean this in a bad way, is sort of like a advert. It's almost like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Selling the show. It's like the team behind Prodigy, giving it to Star Trek, whatever that is. I don't know. Well, it's Star Trek. It's like CBS. What is it? What is Star Trek? But anyway, it gives it to StarTrek.com, an arm of whatever it is. And it's like, look at this great show. People are excited, aren't they? Someone would certainly love to stream this, wouldn't they? So bids are open. So I mean, it's like I don't hate the hustle, but I do wonder if it's a bit of exciting stuff for Prodigy if anyone wants to get in.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that. It could maybe partly just to let everybody know that it does still exist, and then maybe to sort of put some consciousness on the fact that maybe there's a home for it, and look at it looks pretty, and people want to see what happens after the last episode of season 1. But let's start there. We don't have to talk about every episode specifically, though we can talk about stories and characters, because there are some characters that showed up that I was shocked by. Shocked, I say. But just let's start with a sort of general overall, Darren, season 1. What do you think of Star Trek Prodigy? I know you mentioned that Strange New Worlds and that other animated show.
Now,
Dex,
do you mean Prodigy season 1 and season 2, 2, but it's kind of wanting to be still season 1 because, boy, it sure feels like 2 seasons of 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever they call it, I mean, it's just semantics at this point. But there's definitely a seasonal split feel between the first half and the second half of season 1. So I don't know why that all went down. I mean, it literally could be, we're going to fund a season and we're going to call it season 1. And like, if you call it anything else, we're going to take our funding away. Who knows? But no, I've enjoyed Prodigy. I think they've done a really good job of we've learned a lot about these characters. Like the crew is really small. You know, we're learning a lot about them. They're already kind of evolving and changing as it goes. But yeah,
literally, one of the characters goes through an evolution. He's a Pokemon. He's a Pokemon, and he evolved. He got to level 12 or whatever.
It's great for Murf, but it's kind of a bit of a downgrade. Murf 1.0 was adorable. Murf 2.0 looks like teenage Groot. Like, he's not cute anymore. He's like in that in-between stage. Yeah. I personally wouldn't have done that and changed the cutest member of the toy plushie brigade, but that's what they did.
What toy plushie, Darren?
I've been really enjoying.
What toy plushie?
I know. There are no toy plushies. There's not going to be any now because Murf's already evolved. They're selling it. They're selling it. Or not selling it, as the case may be. But no, I've been enjoying Prodigy, and again, just also like Lower Decks, you have a lot of callbacks and a lot of it's animated, so putting in Janeway or the Doctor or any of these actors or actresses. Who are we're going to talk about it in 5 minutes, but all of these characters, it's funny around everyone clamoring for a Star Trek Legacy show. If the Star Trek Legacy show isn't animated, then it can't. What does legacy mean? Or I don't know. But that's all I have to say.
Fair enough. What about you, Philip? Where are you? Where does this show fit in your ranking system?
Yeah, just to echo what y'all has said, that part 1 and part 2, I'll call it that. Season 1 are I don't say vastly different, but are noticeably different, and not bad nor good way, but noticeably different. Whereas I think part 2, this is going to sound weird because obviously Prodigy is, I was going to say modern Trek. Let me say contemporary Trek. Obviously Prodigy is contemporary Trek. By that I mean the Kurtzman era. But part 1 feels very different from everything else. And to me in a good way, but neither good nor bad. Just is very different from Lower Decks and Discovery and Strange New Worlds. Whereas part 2 feels like the rest of the shows. And again, that's not a criticism or anything, but it feels more Discovery-ish or Picard-ish, of how they're doing plotting. Which of course, it's not my favorite, but it feels more like that. But don't get me wrong, I still like it because I think it serves well with the twist. Oh my God, she's an ancient. She's not really some random helmsman you thought was just there on the bridge of the Janeway ship. She's a big, and the body switching episode I thought was really cute. Was really funny. And so there's all these twists and turns. But at the end, this is where I'm going with this. At the end, it's what do we do with Discovery and Picard and every other
we'll talk.
Expletive CGI? Of course it's animated, but CGI fleet fight. This is stupid. It's not that it's stupid because they had introduced the idea way back at the very beginning of the show about this contraption will make this happen, but everyone's dead. Everyone died, by the way, just in the finale. I hope you know that. But the phasers and photon torpedoes are shooting each other.
Ships are
great.
Yeah.
5
there's
hours
a lot
later.
of death toll involved.
But at least at least in this show, that a ship turns evil because the nacelles turn red. So it's very handy. That's the Starfleet ships have this feature. So you can know which ships are very mad and shooting at each other.
It's the Cylon effect.
Yeah, we'll talk about the ending, but I feel the same exact way that you do.
Wait, just like Lower Decks, the end of the season has a bunch of ships that go bad and start shooting everybody. I think, where have I seen that before?
This ending
Picard,
is in every new
the ending
Star
of
Trek
Picard,
show.
where all the ships go bad and start shooting at each other.
It's the exact same thing.
They had a single giant writer's room with 3 tables. Each table had one show, and they all just kind of heard what everybody else was thinking.
Just think like
no more
very long tables, like a star formation or something, where all the seasons start far away. But as they keep making episodes down the table, they all meet in the middle eventually. Like, oh, let's just do the same one.
I am drawing the line in the sand. No more singular threats that's going to destroy every single ship in the fleet. No more giant fleet battles at the end of the last season. This is now tropey, and it is terrible, and it's just. I will say the one saving grace in this show compared to those other shows, to Discovery and Picard, this at least had like a sort of positivity like message attached to it. Like they were trying to they were trying to rally and we could beat this, and where it wasn't depressing. So at least that was okay. But yeah, this trope of just turning the ships evil or all of them are going to get blown up at the same time somehow doesn't. And all of the ships are now going to come to this spot and just show up. And I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
Well, and if I had to think of, and I think it's it's one of those things. Like Prodigy may have written it first. because they took forever to release the darn thing. They may have thought of it before everyone else did. Not their fault. They went last. Well, I guess Picard went last, but anyway. But on the list of everyone who's done this, I think Prodigy does it the best. The problem is we've seen it 3 times already. So if only Prodigy had done it, I'd be like, they really should all be dead, but it's a cartoon, fine. Ugh.
After every single one of these events, do you think that enrollment in Starfleet just drops? Wait a minute, everybody on the ships all died? Why would I want to sign up for this stuff? And then after the 3rd time, nobody signs up anymore. It's just infuriating. Yeah.
And we're just signing up for Starbase duty.
The stakes. Exactly. I get even after Picard, we know that's also not a great gig either. Those can get blown up too. But I understand that the stakes had to be high enough for them to get into Starfleet, I guess is the idea here, but it doesn't have to be everything. Blowing up the galaxy or all of Starfleet. It doesn't even make any sense. If you think about it for 2 minutes, you're never going to be able to blow up all of Starfleet. They're spread across everywhere. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, this doesn't matter. That's enough on that. But that's the ending, and that was annoying, and I was frustrated with it. But it was sweet when Janeway went to bat for all the kids in front of the council. I thought that was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, and again, this is revealing my biases, because I think this is contemporary Star Trek. It is Discovery and Picard. And I don't know what my bias is. I just think Prodigy does it better. Now, is it just because it's animation? Is it because it's kids, so it's not as serious? I mean, it is, but But I just feel like they're the same things I would complain about with plotting in Picard and Discovery. But I think Prodigy just gets way better with it for me. And that's a personal. I don't know whether it's the writing or the characters or whatever, but they're almost as heavily plotted. They're more episodes of the week, but it's still as heavily plotted about Prodigy is. The first half is the same way. The big the diviner and all that is. That's the threat every episode. And then this one is stopping the plan of the device. And with the Turner and the new villain now, and it's as heavily plotted as the other series. But I just enjoy it better, and I don't know why. But I'm just they do it better. I don't know why, they just do it better.
Also, this is a kid's show, right? This is a really steeped in lore show. There's a lot of Star Trek stuff to chew on in here, and I'm okay. And also, I have no idea. I can't piece together what the bad guy, like what his timeline is or what the mode. I can't remember because, well, first of all, the first half of the show was a year ago. I don't remember how he's set up, other than he was really, really powerful. But then they started going through the timeline stuff, and I was lost. Honestly, I was like, I don't know.
This is no time to worry about the timeline.
Someone has
was there two separate diviners? Yeah, but this is a kid show. I just feel like this. If I can't keep up with this, I'm like, how is a Murf fan going to keep up with this? Is all I'm trying to say.
Do they just have different names?
Am I the only one?
Well, I mean, 'cause it seemed like, and it's been a hot second, so you remind me, Daniel. They sent back several time travelers, and these are just the only two that made it. They just they just arrived at different times, literally. And so,
I was the first to arrive. He arrived.
So they both left. They both left from the future. Several of them, because I think there's a flashback of all the pods or some chips or whatever they were.
Yeah, and each of them had they all kept falling out or whatever.
Yeah, and each of them had a metal friend or something. But I guess those two arrived at different times in the timeline. And then we just all met in the present.
Wait, but they were the same character, right?
No, they're all warriors of the I forget everything of the alien race. I can't remember.
No. Because I'm talking about So the diviner, the original bad guy that we see,
Gwyn's dad.
He dies. He dies, right?
No, he got mind killed because
that's what it was. Okay, that's why he couldn't remember. Okay, so Medusa. He couldn't remember, but then he turned out not to. Yeah, he turned out to not be bad. But he was good. Yeah, he saves her.
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Whatever.
No, I'm not disagreeing, but it's it's the heel turn, right? It's the Darth Vader, right? Da.
Sure. Okay.
11th hour. Oh, I love my son. That's pretty much,
Yeah, fine.
That's what this is.
So I alluded to it a couple times, but I want to talk about it. I was shocked. And I remember hearing about this, but I'd forgotten completely about it before I watched the episode. I was shocked that they got that they brought Okana back for 2 separate episodes. And then, of course, in the second episode, Jellicoe back as well.
Oh, that's right.
And both being voiced by their original actors. And I thought that was fun. That's a fun thing to do, right? I don't think anybody was itching for Okana, but we got him anyways. So, and he played a nice little role, and it makes sense.
Outrageous Okana, not itchy Okana.
So I thought that was fun.
I did. It was funny because I haven't watched that episode in forever for good reason. But it'd be interesting to watch again. How he's just. I mean, he's not a coward, but basically, he's. It's because you think he's the bad boy of the galaxy. He's yeah, he's an independent contractor, and he's out of there when it gets too bad. So he's not that tough. He's not that Han Solo. He's. C-grade Han Solo.
He doesn't come back. He doesn't come back with Chewie at the end, right? He he goes with the money and he's out. Yeah.
And it also, speaking of characters, I don't know who voiced him, if it was someone special or not. But I don't forget the name. But the guy who wore all this stupid rank and uniforms that was the comic relief of the first 2 episodes, and then came back later. The guy they meet at the space station. Their first Starfleet person they ever met.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was weird. If this was a Discovery, and I hate to pick on them, or Picard, they'd have that. Here's what's his face? Clinton. Here's Clint Howard would be. Did Clint Howard play that guy? Because that would be Clint Howard. That's the guy that they would have, and
it would be, or Jeffrey Combs.
Why do we keep bringing
most
them
likely
back?
Clint Howard?
Yeah, because it was just this guy.
He's coming back again. Did you?
Yeah.
Are you aware of this? But they just announced that he was coming back for
Strange New Worlds last week.
Yeah. Oh, well, he was already on it. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys, because you guys are bigger Janeway fans than I am, but I thought that she was portrayed pretty well here. I think she was always giving the inspirational speeches, and she saves the day at the end. What do you guys think about her, as a continuation of her character from Voyager? Not the hologram Janeway, of course. We're talking about Janeway, the real Janeway.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's portrayed well. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Janeway, either in, and I'm not particularly counting, Nemesis, where it's like half a blip, but she's a main character of a whole Star Trek show. We've seen a lot of her, but again, like Picard and like these other characters, like it's been a while, and now, so it's like you want her to evolve and to change, but also still be Janeway. So I think it balances that. I think it does.
Yeah, it was interesting because she was sort of, I can't think of a better word than hardcore, but like, in other words, it wasn't just like Janeway's like, oh, I'm immediately on the kid side. It was like, it took her a while. Like, it was in a natural way, of like, these are the bad, because they think the whoever stole the ship, and she's searching for Chakotay. You get that nice flashback of Chakotay taking command. And Admiral Janeway seeing him off. And so she's obviously very skeptical. And these are the bad guys, your quote unquote bad guys. And even then, but I think it's very good natural about getting the real Janeway on their side. And like I said, the body changing one was funny. So yeah, I liked it. So, I mean, she is Admiral Janeway. She's a little bit older, a little bit gruffer. I don't know, is that?
I mean, guys, I hear I have 3 isolinear chips. I'm going to make sure there's 3 sitting in that room so that there's plenty of space for holographic Janeway. You just got to divide her over multiple chips. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Well, holographic Janeway. That's interesting. They made kind of a big deal. The kids were sad about losing holographic Janeway and stuff. I was like, you got the real thing.
But it's true. They are transitioning to real Janeway. It would be kind of weird to be like, well, you're our second space mom. That's like our first space mom that was a hologram.
And it turns out that that would be too many holograms, as we'll find out.
We have one at a time.
Yeah, in a little bit. So,
and I guess that kind of goes to
the end.
I want to see holographic Janeway go rogue again and grab the EMH's mobile emitter and just run.
I'm not going down with the ship. No, that'd be funny. So at the end of the show, after the kids are all, hooray, they got into Starfleet. It turns out that they're building another protostar. I'm not making that
sure,
scene
it's
up.
It's the main ship of the show. So,
but again, we're as we find out in next season, of course it could somehow come into play at some point. But that's also not the ship that they'll be on, at least in the beginning. Right. I don't know why you would build anything other than a protostar at this point, because again, this ship can go ridiculously fast and is the most powerful engine of all time. Daniel, why does not every ship have those?
Protostars aren't just the literal protostars. Aren't just like, you go get a protostar. Look, Daniel, in your time, I'm sure protostars are available in every drugstore. But here in the 25th century, they're a little hard to get.
I'm just saying. There was also another ship that was... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it is interesting to me because, we play the timeline game because, God, they're so close. It's hard that they're all like 5 years apart. And it's just like, well, wait, hold on. We're in lower decks. And now I'm into Prodigy. Is this before or after? And then when we were doing Picard, but now Picard's gone. So now we just got 2. Because we know Strange New Worlds. That's way back. And Discovery's way over there. So, but it's like, how there's they're 10 years apart. Mariner could be walking across the screen in the background in Prodigy somehow. But anyway, and I know we've gone to the timeline. I still probably can't remember off the top of my head. But season 2 of Prodigy is we get the line in the little teaser that showed, oh, the rest of the fleet is busy with the Romulan evacuation. So we're now in a Picard time. I want to see those new uniforms. Better see those new uniforms in the Picard flashback.
That'd be cool. I mean, the only other thing with the protostar is because I want to build a fleet of ships that if their warp core explodes, they just make a wormhole. That's what you get. It's no, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Well, I understand, Darren. I get it. But when you open the technological door, you can't close it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
This is one of my biggest problems with the idea of Discovery in the first place.
Every ship always follows that warp 4 speed limit ever since that episode. I've never seen it cross. It's ironclad.
Listen, there's no way Jankom Pog would put up with a warp 4 speed limit. He wants the fastest ship. That also reminds me of the character development episode, I guess you would call it, where everyone has a flashback. They all have a flashback, and you get to see why they got together. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
I thought Jankom Pog was very funny.
He's always funny. He really is. I love how he's also like played by the oldest actor of the entire group. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Although I don't actually strike that. Janeway might be older.
I thought you meant of the core group. I mean, because they're all children.
Of the kids, he is.
Zero is like
except for
20s
him.
or 30s.
He's the old man. Yeah.
I also love how he is. They call him a runt. He's just a small.
Tellarite. Yeah.
Tellarite, and I thought that was really funny and kind of cute. Like, what a great idea! Why not? If you're going to have pig people, so I thought that was good.
Oh boy, yeah.
So, what about our main cast, our kid characters? Obviously, and I'm going to forget almost everybody's name. Gwyn goes through quite a journey here, and Dal does too. Oh yeah, we can talk about. Well, let's just talk about characters in general. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite? Who stands out? Who could you not stand?
I don't think there's any of them I can't stand. Just Doll. I mean, I always think it's very interesting. I mean, this is episode 1. You know, and I mean, it's not the same position, but like everyone has their position, even if they fight it. Like Doll's the captain, Jankom Pog's the engineer. Rok starts off as security, then she moves to science. And Gwyn's just a first officer, vaguely. And then Zero operations, we'll say. You know, that's what all they'll ever do. You know, it's sort of like, you know, that's how they put the sort of ish first officer. Yeah, that's how they were sorted in the Prodigy hat. But like, to me, why is Doll captain? I don't. Gwyn's captain, right? Like that's
because he's the first one to sit in the.
I guess
in the chair.
Because he's loud and obnoxious about it, and Gwyn just is too cool for that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, not really, because they're kids. It's like toxic masculinity at a kid level. I'm like, why are we letting him be, you know, just someone tell him to shut up and let the girl be in charge. I guess my disappointment, and I don't mean
he did do a whole hologram episode about learning what it means to be captain. Like, they have put, you know...
But it's, again, and, you know, whatever, I get it. I get it. But why do they have to fit into this weird hierarchy anyways? They don't. There's 5 people. It's like if you're going out on a cruise on a boat with your buddies, and you're like, I'm the captain here, you guys have to... It's like, no, I mean, I guess somebody should be in charge, but that you would mainly just make Janeway in charge, and she's the only one that actually knows what she's doing. But whatever, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He wants to be captain. Let him be whatever that means. I guess it means nothing. So,
but I guess I was disappointed at the end with Gwyn, and I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but like they have that little like, but one of you aren't gonna make it, and you all think it's Doll and it's Gwyn, and you're like, what? She's the most out of everyone qualified to do that, but it's because she wants to do her own thing. Understandably. It's one of those things.
She has responsibilities, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I don't hate the episode, but I'm just disappointed personally. I'm like, what? Gwyn? Why not Gwyn? But I mean, I get it. But it's like, ugh.
Well, you know they're going to bring her back. I mean, the concerning thing about that whole storyline for me is like, does this mean that they're going to sneak another whole season of the Diviner stuff in here? Because I was happy that it wrapped up at the end. But then I'm like, oh, God, is this going to be like, a time thing, and then we're still going to have to deal with it? I just really hope that's not the direction.
Based on the teaser, yes.
I don't want to do it again. We just did the whole thing. I just hope they don't. Maybe it's a red herring or something, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We're
going to play Gwyn's Shuttle all season 2.
That's right. Yeah, so just off screen. We could talk about how Doll it turns out to be basically genetically engineered from birth, I guess.
That's sad. And again, it's one of those things, like, I'm not hating what they did, or I mean, you know, it is like, because like you see where he kind of wigs out, and then one episode where he gets tempted by the guy at the space station to, you know, whatever, and he goes all super powered in his different, you know, species abilities. But I mean, like, you know, all the characters have to sort of have a dark turn. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, making bad choices. That's reality, especially for kids. He's acting like a normal teenage boy, unfortunately. But, you know, it's just like, and, I mean, it is sort of like heartfelt because, like, he doesn't have any parents. Oh, God, it's so sad. Like, I mean, he found family, I know, but, like, it's like, oh, well, that sucks for him. It's like the only thing I wanted was family, and I don't have one, it turns out. So that's me. That's me, guys.
Yeah, it was, you know, that's obviously a pretty sad revelation for him, I guess. Like I said, it's like, you know, if you're that age and you just never knew and then you found out, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'll move on with my life on to the next thing. And he already has the next thing, like you said, his family on the ships. But, you know, as a teenager, you're not probably processing that in the same way. What I did not like about this particular storyline was that they tied it to Soon, which is super annoying. So I guess that means he just, like, created a bunch of creatures and let them loose in the universe. I don't know, like, how that works timeline wise either, because this isn't the Soong from TNG, right? This must have been the Soong from well before then.
It's almost as if they should use different names and different characters, but, like, it's getting confusing.
Right, the last geneticist Soong we saw, or I should say the latest, would have been the one from Enterprise, which was 200 years before this or whatever. So, like, was he in an egg?
And also that this is in the history of the Soon, you know, he went from geneticist to cyberneticist, and then we get Data, but, like, then which one went back to geneticist? And because, like, this is after Data.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, when did this happen? And what happened? Did he just?
There's no branches on the Soon tree. It is a single line of continuity
of all Brent Spiner.
All Soons.
There's a lot of inbreeding. That's why they all look alike. It's very, you know.
Oh man. Anyways, I just didn't like that. I just now like I said before the show, they're just going to bring him on. Now Brent is going to play Soong in season 2 whenever they do the follow-up episode to this, when Dahl finds him, and he's going to do his old man voice just like in, you know, Family and Brothers and all that. Okay, whatever.
I mean, Daniel, that's just his voice now. I mean, I don't know, sure.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I think, and again, this is one of those things I don't hate the series about, but I think we're now at the point, I mean, for goodness sakes, because we've, obviously it's different time periods, but we've done this enough times in the Star Trek franchise in the past 5 years. It's time to come to Jesus about genetic ban in Starfleet. I mean, like,
hell yeah.
We were doing these exceptions left and right, and then, like, when we were just doing exceptions, then time for the policy to end. I mean, you know, there can be, like, a more defined policy, but just, like, you know, genetic engineering ban. I'm like, well, you got Bashir, you got Dahl, you know, we had number 1 back in the 23rd century, you know.
In fairness, I will say this, in Deep Space Nine, going through it this time, it does come up a lot. Like, people are always throwing it in its face. Like, I was just watching, I mentioned the Sloan episode, and that was one of his, like, lines of evidence he used against him. He's like, you lied to your captain for, you know, 5 years before you were found out. You didn't, like, tell him. You were found out. Do you think you would have ever told him? And he's like, I don't know. And so, and people just bring it up all the time anyways. I do agree with you, though. I do think that maybe if they're going to use this storyline to finally address this and be like, okay, you know, obviously the complete total ban is you know, extremist. We got to do something a little more reasonable here. I think that would be fine. But yeah, I am kind of getting over this whole thing, like just seeing it over and over again. But
I mean, like I don't want to be watching the final season of Discovery where they still have the genetic ban or something, you know.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to cover in season 1 that delighted you or shocked you or you hated? Anything else before we move on to season 2?
I mean, it was interesting.
I mean, I kind of mentioned it. Like, I don't like the Murf redesign. I don't. I think if you're gonna evolve into something cute. But that's just me. That's a minor nitpick.
That's what I tell kids. It doesn't help.
Yeah, you're gonna grow up.
What's with all the pimples and grease on your face? God, do something better.
So Murf is basically Jack, right? I think is what I realized when I was watching it. It's just like, you know, he's there because he can solve the problem when they have no other way to solve the problem. I just thought it was funny. He beats up all the guys in the holodeck episode. Thought that was pretty good. Of course, the safeties were off, but that's fine. That's fine. All right, Philip. What about you? You have anything? Any other last thoughts?
I mean, it's good. I mean, I feel like, you know, if I had to choose, and I don't, but if I had to choose, the first half to me is better than the second half. But I think Prodigy does other than the Chakotay thing, does a good job of setting up mysteries and then solving them, or at least solving other mysteries, and not just like, you know, create stumbling block. Like, no, we have to have a solution every 3 episodes, or it's just going to seem stupid. Like sometimes Discovery can be like, you know, I don't mind, you know, the overall mystery, but if you give us nothing, then it just is a frustrating season. And so, like, I feel like there's a natural end to part 1, season 1, even though we still have the mystery. And then season 2, there's still the Chakotay mystery, which is slightly annoying. But, you know, they're promising they'll solve it in season 2, I guess. And so that's what gets Janeway, Admiral Janeway on board. But, you know, we get the doll, we get find out on his thing, you know, we get more Gwyn gets her memory back, and then gets completion on her family story so she can move on to other things. Rok gets a little more self-actualized. I don't think Jankom Pog he's there. Being Jankom Pog. And then, you know, we get Murf evolving. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody moves on. There's a bit of character development for everyone. I agree with you. I do like that they wrapped most things up, and that's why I just don't want them to just dip back into that diviner well. Just rather season 2 just head into a different direction, but I guess we will see. So speaking of, let's talk about it. We got a 4-minute clip from the first episode of season 2, and 2 big drops, I'd say, right? 2 big reveals that happened that I don't think we had known about either of these things. Maybe I wasn't aware, but the return of the Doctor. He's back. He is working with Janeway still. And the Voyager A, which is bigger and better and faster. But is it Voyager? Is this a refit, or is this a new ship?
They give the name of the class, and it's a different ship. We said it has a similar Titan profile. What?
We said that about Titan, and that was this BS piece of explanation.
Well, no, they specifically also said that they put the old one in a museum.
Yeah.
Did they say that?
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah.
They say they put the old Voyager in a museum. This is a new X-class ship. Not X, but they give a name.
There's a new Commodore who's in charge of the museum. They don't say that.
But they also say that this class uses all of the technology, the extra bits that they learned while in the Delta Quadrant. So it's so it's better have a blade of armor. That's all I'm saying. I need a blade of armor coming up. You know, although I guess if it's already built into the ship, you don't need it coming out. But
so this has got to be Janeway's pet project, then, right?
She better be ditching the Dauntless soon and heading over to the Voyager. Well, we also saw it when the shuttle lands. You see its registry, and its registry is the Voyager Registry -A. So they're already teasing at it.
Which okay, yeah, right. So just Janeway just wanted to relive the glory days, get the band back together,
pretty much,
right? Is that
go
what we're
find
thinking?
Chakotay's shuttle.
Exactly. She's gonna get everybody together. Then she's gonna grab these kids, and they're all gonna go find Chakotay, right? That's what I'm thinking the season's going to be.
I love that.
It's going to be Voyager 2.
The kids are like, "What's the first mission?" And they're like, "Doctor's like, oh, this anomaly." They're like, "That's the anomaly that the." Yeah, no, it's the same story, guys. We are keeping you on the same story.
So
what a coincidence!
I'm expecting
of all the cadets that we could have assigned, it's the one that you're responsible for.
I'm expecting a briefing scene with Janeway and Tuvok and Paris and Kim, and she's like, "We're going back to the Delta Quadrant. Let's go, everybody, strap in." And B'Elanna.
Like, and I'm out.
What is this, Lost?
So yeah,
we have to go back.
So we don't know, of course, that all those characters are coming back. Probably not. That would be kind of overkill. But certainly we do have the Doctor, which is fun, especially since
Voyager is season 8. Because it feels like Voyager season 8.
Yeah.
I mean, we got. I'm sorry. Has Tuvok been in Prodigy, or am I making that up in my head?
Prodigy.
Okay.
Spock was. We had a holographic Spock in the learning to be a captain episode. That's probably what you're thinking.
Okay, because it's been 20 episodes.
The last we saw of Tuvok. The last we saw of Tuvok was in Picard, but that was that obviously takes place after this. So
yeah. So we've gotten Janeway, Chakotay, the Doctor, and that's in Prodigy, just Prodigy. And that's all we've got. Okay.
Yep. And presumably there will be more.
In Lower Decks, Seven and Tuvok in Picard. So no Neelix love, huh? Yeah, no Neelix love.
Neelix,
B'Elanna. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Neelix, B'Elanna, and Kim. We haven't seen Kim.
That's true. You're right. Those three.
Yeah. So maybe look for those. So just real quick, because you guys are the Voyager fans, if you would, if this is sort of a season 8, we'll say, is there any like let's just say they do one reunion episode with everybody on board. What would you like to see? Is there a thread you'd like picked up? Should Chakotay go on a date with already. Seven again?
No, forget that.
Okay. Did the Krenim show back up?
No. I know exactly what we need to do. We need to reestablish contact with Neelix back in the Delta Quadrant because he's still there. I think that would be because if you're going to get the band back together, you can't get the band back together. Oh, and Neelix is, so Protostar your butt into the Delta Quadrant again, and go from there. That's what I think. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Anything, Philip, in your mind that you'd like to see?
They really haven't done enough with the Borg. If they could include that somehow. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez. Stop.
Yeah, no, stop.
My gosh.
City
Alpha 2, a new podcast coming out this fall.
Yeah, well, I think...
I thought the for sure... Oh, go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, the only thing is just finishing up their story. Because, we have those that we are missing. And again, we're running into timeline problems a little bit. Not problems, but we've seen Tuvok, so, we know at least 10 years from now where he's going to be. And Seven. Because I don't think you could do, I don't think we could do Seven in Prodigy. It's a kid show. It's like, F y'all, and then I'm going to the Fenris Rangers. Screw y'all. But other than that, you can get these kids into Starfleet Academy. I don't see you get me in there. What? He's genetically modified. What, the Borg? It hasn't been a Borg for several years. Is worse than that. The kid who's genetically,
This could be pre her disillusionment. This could be before her leaving of Starfleet. That she could still, or not leaving, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But whatever. Who knows? Did it make you excited for season 2? Were you guys like jazzed about seeing this, or surprised, or is it just like whatever? This is where they're going.
No, I'm excited. I think seeing the Doctor. I think obviously this is all just a moment in the first episode. Like it's 4 minutes of a 25-minute episode. It's like a good chunk of that episode if you think about it timeline wise. It's Prodigy is also just weird because it's like I don't know how they're structuring these seasons, so I don't know what to expect from a season 2. I don't even know how many episodes are supposed to be in season 2. But like, are we starting this whole new chapter? Is it going to be? Because I'm not holding out hopes for season 3, guys. I'm just saying, like, I highly doubt that is going to happen. So I don't know.
I think a problem, and this is obvious with Prodigy, is the momentum. Because I thought, I don't know, Strange New Worlds kind of, and Lower Decks are kind of have been bringing it. Because I thought Prodigy, of all the new offerings in the 21st century, in the Kurtzman era, Prodigy was my favorite, and that's a personal opinion. I just thought it was really cool what they were doing, but like it's hard to cheerlead with them when you don't know when it's going to come out, and so it's like, well, I've got to find a new favorite now, and so let me go hitch my wagon to Lower Decks and maybe Strange New Worlds. And so I'd be excited about Prodigy if I had some consistency. But if we're assuming, big assumption, that all will remain in the world as far as streaming and Paramount Plus, they're going to be down 2 series. So they're down Picard, they're down Discovery as soon as it is. And so right now we have Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds. So Prodigy is a great, third series, of the series that were out there. That's 3 good series, dependable series. Dependable being a strong word. 3 dependable series that can keep the franchise going, and if they're going to Academy it up or whatever. But like if it was just those 3 series, and which will have their natural ends, they're all have been on for a little bit. The only one's been on for a little bit. Sorry, Lower Decks is the only one that's been on for a little bit. But like Strange New Worlds, get that for maybe 5 years, right? And that'd be good. And Prodigy, knock on wood, would be like 3 or 4 years because it's a kids show. Well, I don't know. Some kids shows go on forever, but like you can see a natural ending to that story, and then Strange New World, Lower Decks probably only has. Look, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's going into its 4th season, so it's only going to get so many, of ensigns not getting promoted. So that probably only has a year or 2 left, or seasons. So I think that's a strong 3 block of series for the franchise. So I really, so I'd be excited if we knew it and it's coming out, and we could be excited when it comes out, and then we could be excited about where it's going. But it's kind of like, do I want to get too attached?
I guess we'll see when it gets here, if it shows up. Yeah, I totally understand that. Definitely. Well, that's it. That might be the last time we ever talk about Star Trek Prodigy. Hopefully not, though. Of course, we're hoping this season comes out somewhere in some fashion at some time. And we'll definitely talk about it then when it does. But for now, that is Prodigy. So I think that's it. I think that's it for us for this week, guys. If people wanted to get a hold of you to find out, Philip, where you can find plushy Murfs, where would they find you?
I don't know where you can find me these days. So yeah, I don't know. I'm around. All right. Fair
enough. And Darren, if people wanted to find out what stage of evolution you're at, how would they get a hold of you?
I've been genetically engineered to not evolve, so nice. That's why I'm the same as I was all these years. They can find me at drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI, not changing the name to X.
You see, Philip, Darren's got the right idea. He has his own website, so he doesn't have to be... but I'm like Philip. I'm around. You'll find me if you really want to. But until next week, I'm Jankom Pog.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on SETI Alpha 3.